Hello, my friends. So I thought today we would look at a breakup that is not that old. This is only like a year and a half ago. And maybe see if anything looks familiar. And I think maybe we could come up with some theories as to why Amberlynn just can't keep a girlfriend. After digging into this video and a couple others that we're going to be looking at today, I think it's going to be pretty clear, especially just knowing Amberlynn and knowing all the context along with all the stuff we're going to be talking about today. Another thing I want you to kind of keep in the back of your head is that this breakup is about a year and a half old, but they were together for a couple years and they lived together. The relationship with Emily was only like 6 or 7 months, and it started right after Emily's fiance died. So let's just kind of theorize why on earth Amberlynn just can't keep a girlfriend. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie.
Hello. So I don't know if I'm gonna regret this, but I don't know, it's like a little video diary.
Now, here's the thing. These are real tears, right? This is actual crying. This is one of the very few times Amberlynn has been on a video actually crying.
But Feline and I have broken up. It was mutual.
And it wasn't. This is how long the AirPod's been going on. She was doing it all throughout the Wifey era. But she flat out said, like, I don't know, 6 months after this, or actually no, a month or two after this video, that it was not mutual, that she was brokenhearted and she really wishes that she could have her back.
I'm a mess. I'm a freaking mess, and that's putting it extremely lightly. I'm just a mess. I realized a few days ago that this isn't mutual anymore. Not at all.
Yeah, notice how she kind of added anymore right there at the end, because she wants us to think that it was mutual to begin with, but in a minute she's going to give away that it really wasn't, and it becomes pretty clear. The more we watch, the more it's obvious it was not mutual.
I would give anything to be with Feline again. Anything. Like, I would have our worst day over every single day for the rest of my life if that meant I got to spend it with her. On my end, I made a mistake. I made a mistake breaking up with her. And I'm not sure she feels the same.
And just always bear in mind, this was only a year and a half or so ago.
I have my freaking headphone thing in. It just...
And she almost had a moment of clarity there where she takes it out and she's like, this is so stupid. Why do I wear this? And again, I have no problem with people wearing earbuds. I really do genuinely wear an earbud almost all the time. I wear it constantly, but not when I'm filming, right? That's the difference, is I take it out when I'm filming because there's no point in it while you're filming.
It was mutual, and like, I'm wearing the same thing I was wearing yesterday. Like, I did have makeup. Like, I have cried it all off completely.
And it's very clear that Wifey just got so tired of Amber, which we all would. I mean, imagine how annoying Amber would be to live with. Like, she's annoying to watch voluntarily. So imagine if you had to live with her. So, no, it's very clear that Wifey just got fucking sick of her and broke up with her. And so then she comes on here and pretends like it was mutual and pretends like, well, we'll get into the narcissism here in a minute. But later, they do a really kind of weird video where they both talk together. So let's just see what Wifey actually sounds like. Because this video is pretty clearly an attempt by Amberlynn to kind of control the narrative and be like, see, it was mutual. But the way Jade is talking about the breakup, it's very clear she's just trying to appease Amberlynn. You know, she's trying to just make sure she doesn't ruffle any feathers.
In your words, why did the breakup happen?
In my words, I feel like this is probably the most adult relationship I've ever had. There was a lot of growth on both ends. And as you grow, sometimes you just realize you need different things than what you may have originally thought you needed.
So see, she says, it was the most adult relationship I've ever been in. And, you know, sometimes when you grow, you just start realizing you need other things. Meaning, Jade was like, I just can't do this anymore. And Amberlynn was she's never growing. I mean, she's growing, but she's never growing mentally, right? Or emotionally. We know that. There's never been any growth by Amberlynn. So by Wifey saying that, it's clear that she's trying to soften the blow by saying, on both of us grew a whole lot and decided we just don't want this anymore. So that Amberlynn can go, yeah, me too. I want that same thing as you. But really the whole time she's thinking, please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me.
And that's what it came down to. We don't give each other what we need. In not all senses, that's not in all senses, but in enough sense that we just realized we may not be the best for each other. Or at least in the capacity of a relationship. Like, there was no animosity, there is no animosity. At least from my end, there's no ill will. We're still in love. Like, I still love her.
That sounds awfully familiar. Where have I heard that before?
This is my home, and this is where my family is, and I don't want to leave. But I love her. I love her. I love her. I don't care what anybody else thinks of her. I know who she is. And she has her faults, and I have my faults too.
We're still in love. Like, I still love her. But sometimes that's just not enough.
If I didn't know Amberlynn, then it would sound like they actually had a mutual breakup. But we know Amberlynn. We know how codependent she is and how immature she is, right? So hearing this from Jade makes it pretty obvious that she is really just trying to make sure Amberlynn doesn't get so mad that she throws a fit.
To push a relationship through.
I've tried to explain that, and some people don't believe in mutual breaking up, and it is a thing. It's when two people agree to go their separate ways, and we agree on that, as painful as it is.
I mean, I guess to those people, like, you're, in a sense, lucky that you've never had to experience that.
Yeah, because it's a different type of pain,
This
for
is
sure.
definitely a different type of pain. Because, if you end things on bad terms, you can wipe that person from your life and just move on. But it's like...
Especially if you're not in love with them anymore.
Yeah. And it's like, you can just move on, move forward, and that's that. But when you're still in love with a person, it's like, you have to make that unselfish decision to say, I'm not what you need. And I will say, it's probably one of the most mature things I've ever done.
Yeah. So the next question was, actually, are you still in love with Amberlynn?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I love her with all my heart.
So that's an interesting one. Are you still in love with Amberlynn? Of course. Yeah. Oh, sure. Of course. Absolutely. And of course, that's a question that Amberlynn would ask. Of course it is. She wanted to make sure that she got Jade on recording saying that she's still in love with Amberlynn. And again, I feel like this is all just to appease Amber.
If you could turn back time, what would you do differently?
There's a lot of things I would do differently.
Really?
She said, if you could turn back time, what would you do differently? And Jade said, I'd do a lot of things differently. And Amber goes, really? So when she says it was mutual, and she says, that's when two people agree to break up. Basically what she's actually meaning is, Jade broke up with me, and I'm agreeing just to not flip out, not to lose my shit.
I would have made sure I was in a better place emotionally, mentally, before entering this relationship.
Yeah.
I'm still at a point in my life where I'm growing and changing from year to year.
Week to week. Me too, though.
Yeah.
And isn't that funny that Jade says, I'm growing year to year, and Amberlynn then says for her, week to week. And me too, She really just has to be in control. She has to sort of twist Jade's answers so that the narrative sort of follows her path for the audience. Or at least in her mind, the audience can be like, yeah, Jade really is still in love with Amber, Because that was the entire point of this video, was just so that Amber could say, see, we're still in love. It was mutual.
And I think when we first started dating, I thought I was like in a good spot. I was taking medication for mental health, going to therapy regularly. I had felt the best I've felt in my adult life. And I thought, like...
She said she was going to therapy regularly. Unlike somebody.
it can't get any better than this, but there was still a lot of things I needed to work on.
Yeah.
And I know you saw that firsthand.
Yeah.
Man, I cannot imagine being with Amberlynn being very good for your mental health. You know what I mean? So she said, oh, there's a lot of stuff I need to work on. And I'm guessing the therapist probably said, you need to cut out the one thing that's causing you the most stress mentally. And that just meant she had to cut out 600 pounds from her life. You know what I mean?
Both of us have a lot we have to work on.
See, both of us have a lot we have to work on. She can't just speak for herself. She has to make sure she's talking for Jade too.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the one that got away.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Because I think about that saying where it's just like, we're right for each other, but like not right now. You know? And you never know what the future holds.
That's it. You never know what the future holds.
Now, how sad. That's so sad. That is so like kind of pathetic where she said, basically she's hinting or wanting to sort of lay the groundwork for maybe we can get back together. Do you think maybe we can get back together one day? And she's doing it recording so that it sort of puts pressure on Jade to say, yeah, sure. You just never know. You never know. That's sad, man.
You never know.
But that just proves the immaturity of Amber, right? That proves that she has not grown at all. She's not an adult.
Who fucking knows?
You're worth so much. And that's why this is happening, because you deserve the world. And sadly, right now, because of circumstances, I can't give you that. You know? But we can be best friends and we can be in each other's lives.
And how'd that work out? As soon as Jade dropped her off in Oklahoma, she said, see ya, sucker, and never talked to her again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're just a good person.
Okay, we know this is all fake now. But so it's pretty obvious that Jade, now, so this is my opinion. You know, again, if we didn't know Amberlynn, we might think this is mutual. But given all the context, given all of the history of Amberlynn, I would wager that the breakup happened because Jade just couldn't stand her anymore. And she used the excuse of, I just want more out of life. And since you're basically stuck in your apartment all the time, we can't do that. And that was the easiest excuse that she could give Amber so that she wouldn't, I don't know. Well, and maybe she gave her an ultimatum. This was during the whole weight loss surgery arc that was clearly never going to happen. Like from the very beginning, as soon as she said, I'm going to get weight loss, I was like, no, you're not. No, that's just not going to happen. There's going to be some excuse. Something's going to happen. She's not going to take accountability for it. And there's no way on earth that she could put in enough work to get weight loss surgery. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. And maybe Jade knew that too, right? Maybe Jade knew that Amber was never going to get weight loss surgery. And so she gave her an ultimatum saying, if you get weight loss surgery and we can actually go on trips and do this stuff, then I'll stay with you, knowing that was never going to happen. So I don't know, but I just think Jade got tired of her and just found an easy excuse of, I want more out of life, and just moved on.
I can't stop crying. I feel like I'm mourning like a death. Like knowing that one day, like, I'm just gonna wake up and she's not there. It's a different type of pain, because like I envision my whole future with her, and I know she did the same. And
she always said, isn't that weird? She always says that, where it's, you know, I love them so much and I know they love me too. Or I envision myself with her forever, and I know she felt the same about me. You know, she always has to, even with Rarity, even when Rarity disappeared, she was like, I loved Rarity so much, and I know she loved me too. Like,
Rarity was my literal life, and like, you guys know how much she loved me too, and it's just fucking...
That's just a weird thing to say. It's weird that she feels like she needs to confirm that or reiterate that they love her too. And that's a narcissist thing, right? She's really just convincing herself. She's saying it to us, but really she's trying to convince herself that it's true.
This was mutual. There has, like, I'm gonna speak for myself. There has been some things that just like, I don't have to go into detail. Love just isn't enough sometimes. And
there's just things that, like, I don't have to go into detail. And she's editing it, so I'm not sure why she didn't edit that part out, but whatever.
I know what I'm worth. And I know it might not be like a lot to some people, but I know like what I deserve, and I know what I want, and I just need.
And that is crazy. By saying that, she's hinting that it's something Feline did or something Wifey did, right? That it almost made it sound like she was like abusive or something, right? That Amberlynn says, I know what I'm worth and I know what I deserve. And then the next logical statement would be, I deserve better than this, right? I know what I deserve. I know what I'm worth and I deserve better. It's weird if it was mutual, you know?
To be single, I literally have cried. Oh, my head hurts so bad. Sorry. I have done nothing but literally cry and cry and cry and cry for the last like 24 hours. This happened literally before fireworks last night. I don't know what to say. Like, I know there's probably going to be a lot of people questioning.
I love that she said literally before fireworks last night. Like, she ruined the fireworks for me, you guys. She broke up with me so I couldn't even enjoy my fireworks.
And saying you seemed so happy. And yeah, like the relationship I had with Feline was literally the most passionate relationship I've ever been in, but on both sides of the spectrum. On both sides. And
again, that's hinting at almost like abusive activity, or, you know, she's hinting a lot at a lot of really kind of negative things. And at the time, Wifey really never could speak up, right? Because she chose to remain as anonymous as she could. And so I think Amber just knew she wasn't gonna like clap back, which is amazing. I will say it is crazy that Wifey has stayed as silent as she has since they broke up. Because I'm guessing of all of the girlfriends that Amberlynn has had, I guess besides Beck, because Beck has come out with some crazy stuff, don't get me wrong, I would say that Wifey probably has some real tea.
she's my best friend, and it's like she wants to help me with this move. I will be moving. She will be moving. We have a timeline of when that's going to be happening, and I just look around at everything, and it's like I look over in my kitchen and I'm like, that's the first place she kissed me. But then there's also probably a bad memory in that same spot, you know? It's like, not everything is perfect behind the scenes. Honestly, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we know. Like, I mean, most people understand that whenever like family vlog channels are out there and they look like they're perfectly happy all the time, most people understand that's just a facade, right? But it is rarely more obvious that things are not great behind the scenes than with Amberlynn Reed, right? That whatever you're doing on camera, it's worse off camera, whatever it is.
Why we broke up, it's personal, and we both have our own reasons, but
Yeah, we both. Again, she has never, ever broken up with anybody. She has always been the one getting dumped. And so her reasons are, please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. And Wifey's reasons were, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore, you know?
she's my other half of my heart.
She has a lot of halves of her heart, you know? Because Rarity was a half of her heart. Her brother is a half of her heart. Wifey is a half of her heart. Emily is a half of her heart. She's got too many halves of her heart.
And I'm the other half of hers.
And there we go again. She says, I'm the other half of hers, speaking for Jade and basically saying she loves me just as much as I love her, just like she did with Rarity. She just has to slip that in. So she's definitely trying to convince herself, not us.
But we can't be in a relationship. I just don't even know what to say. Like,
And she tries to act like she's the grown up, right? We just can't be in a relationship. Like, it was not your choice, girl.
I just got off the phone with my mom and talked to her because I just needed someone. I just needed someone that isn't her, you know? Because Feline is my best friend and I'm her best friend, and it's like, it's kind of hard to...
See, I'm her best friend, right? She's my best friend and I'm her best friend. Don't forget, I'm her best friend too. And that is Narcissist 101, man.
Cry to the person that you're losing, even though Feline and I both have been crying literally all day. I have never, ever, ever, ever seen her cry this much. And even just calling her Feline is so hard because Bambi and Feline, like...
I don't believe it for a second that Wifey was crying that much. don't believe it. I just don't. She had the normal tells where she's acting, she's Actorlynn. But even in that little heartbreak video where they're talking together, Wifey is just so matter of fact and just so casual about the whole thing. It was pretty clear she just was ready to get the hell out of there.
It's not a thing anymore. I also think like I'm partially in shock. I don't know. It's like, how do I go on? I literally just feel like something I've always experienced is like when I experience heartbreak, I feel it physically. Like it physically feels like I've lost like a limb, or I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like
heartbreak sucks, man. We all get it. If you haven't been through heartbreak, you're lucky. It sucks. But it's just, I think the problem is she has so little interaction with other humans. And of course she has to kind of mimic human emotion because she doesn't really understand it. So that when she feels something, she thinks, man, this sucks so bad. It must just be really special to me. I don't think anybody else hurts this much. It's like, yeah, we do. We've all been there.
I was hit by a truck 1,000,000 times over, just repeatedly, over and over and over. Like, I just feel like I can't live without her, but I know that I have to because it's just, like, I know what I deserve. Even though sometimes I act like I hate myself, like I act like it.
I can't live without her, but I know I have to. I just know what I deserve. Like, that doesn't really add up. But again, she's hinting it was her idea to break up, which we all know there's no chance. There's no way that happened. She does not have the maturity.
There's a part of me that cares. And I care about Feline as well. It's like, she deserves the fucking world. And it's like, I could only give her a part of it.
And that's probably a big part of it too, is Wifey realized, I'm going to be stuck in this apartment. I'm not going to get to do anything. Because how much do you want to bet she was timed anytime she went anywhere? Because she worked at home. She had her office, so at least she could kind of close the door and get away from her a little bit. But generally speaking, she was stuck at home with Amberlynn all the time. And I would wager that anytime she left, Amberlynn was timing her. If you said you're going to be back at 6:30, 6:31, where are you? What are you doing? Hey, where are you? I'm waiting for you to get home. Stay, like waiting by the door like she did with Destiny. And man, you can only do that for so long until you're like, God, just shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
I could only give her a part of it when I want to give her the whole thing. Am I breaking up? You know what? I kind of am. I don't want to like shower. I don't want to do anything. I kind of just want to like eat. I just want to eat. I just want to turn to food. I want to numb it out. I'm just lost. Because like I said, I don't know who I am. And I'm just ready to be.
Yeah, she does not know who she is without a partner. And that's why I guarantee you that even while she's talking about how heartbroken she is about Emily and all this other stuff, I would bet about anything that she has got somebody she's talking to in DMs somewhere.
Single. And I'm going to be living on my own. And I don't want to say where. I don't want to say when. But as much as YouTube has like drastically fucked with me in my life,
I will say it's been probably pretty good for her to live on her own for a little while. Even though mom is right there. Mama Lynn is so close that she can kind of do things for her and take her places. I think it's probably been pretty good for her. I think, I don't know if she's matured much since she's moved to Oklahoma, but I think she needed to be alone. But the problem is, even when she's physically alone, she is constantly DMing people and trying to find some kind of caretaker. So she's not really ever alone,
It has also been one of the most amazing things that I am so grateful for. And it's like, for me, just talking is so therapeutic. And it helps me understand myself. I know a lot of people aren't like that. They're not an open book.
Isn't that interesting? Talking to somebody might be helpful. There's this thing you can do. What is it called? Where you pay somebody who's a professional, right? They've studied like minds and studied emotions and stuff, so that whenever you talk to them, they can then determine kind of what you need and how to help you. And so then when they talk back, you actually learn some stuff about yourself. And some of them can actually like write you a prescription in case you need some kind of medication to help you, come to grips with whatever is going on in your mind. But it really all comes down to just talking to somebody. What is that called? Where you talk to a person, like a therapist or something, Or I can't remember. But anyway, that seems like it would be a pretty cool deal. I don't know.
But YouTube has been there for me for a decade, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So I want to document, everything to the best of my ability.
At this point, she wasn't blaming YouTube yet. I mean, I know throughout the years she has said, I hate YouTube and I want to leave it, which we know that's never going to happen. But because in this breakup, she really couldn't blame the haters because Wifey was just never on camera and they never really... And that's a funny thing. Nobody came for Wifey. People found out who she was and nobody cared, right? There were a handful of people. I mean, there are always going to be some trolls that are just kind of turds. But compared to Emily and the feeder stuff, Beck got some hate because at the time, people thought she was more of an enabler. But later, once people found out that she was a victim, they kind of changed to her side. But nobody came for Wifey. Nobody came for Destiny. They were just characters. Nobody really cared much about what they did. But Emily shows up with an obvious feeder history, and Amberlynn just thinks that everybody just came for it because they hate Amberlynn. But that's part of it. But a lot of people really did come for Emily just to try to help Amber.
Obviously, I'm not going to share everything, the real personal stuff, because why we broke up, it doesn't matter. It happened though, and I have to move on. I have to move forward, and so does she. And it feels like a nightmare. It feels like an absolute nightmare.
This whole video is a great example of cope, right? She is huffing pure grade A copium right now, where she's trying to pretend like Wifey is also as heartbroken as she is, and it's mutual. Like, nobody's buying it. Nobody bought it back then, and nobody's buying it now.
But I know that it has to happen, and I have to keep reminding myself of that it has to happen, and I have to keep a healthy distance from her, because like, she's still trying to hug me.
I can only imagine if she was like in there listening, she's going, bitch, please shut the fuck up. Like, I cannot believe she's saying this shit. That had to be so frustrating hearing her say that. When Feline just said, you're out, kicked her to the curb. And then she hears her saying, I got to keep a distance from her. And like, it's Wifey's fault that they're breaking up.
And I have to tell her, like, I can't. Like, it hurts too bad. And in the past, like, I didn't want my ex to not sleep in the bed with me, but I don't want her in the bed with me. And I slept without her last night, and...
That is so weird. And she did that with Crystal and Destiny and Beck, I'm pretty sure, where they break up and then she forces them to sleep in bed with her, basically. That is creepy, man. That is one of the creepiest behaviors that she has portrayed ever. The fact that she, like, makes her exes sleep in bed with her. And I guarantee you that Wifey was having none of it. And so instead of her come to grips with the fact that that's creepy and weird, she comes on here and says, I didn't want it. I just didn't want her sleeping in bed with me. When the truth is, Wifey was not going to be doing it, period. Wifey was like, fuck no, I'm not sleeping in bed with you. We broke up. But Amber was like, please sleep in bed with me, please, please, please. But when she said no, she comes on here and is like, yeah, I told her I just can't let her. She wants to, but I just won't let her.
It was horrible. I have very, very, very bad abandonment issues. Like, this is due to like childhood shit. Like, I have been abandoned. I was abandoned during the time of your life when you shouldn't be. So I have a lot of like fears that are irrational, but also very rational. I hate sleeping alone. I hate it more than anything, but I know that I have to detach myself from certain things.
It just seems so performative, right? It's just the whole, and just the facial expressions she uses are ones that she has seen other people use when they're sad, and she just tries to mimic it, and it doesn't work. Like, she's not very good at it. You know, and I would probably have more sympathy for her about her childhood stuff if she didn't talk about it all the time, right? Most people who go through a rough childhood and then they grow up, they don't use it as a crutch or as an excuse for everything, right? They don't come on and say, yeah, I act this way because of my childhood trauma. I act this way because of my childhood trauma. Once you start talking about it, it becomes fair game for us to go, are you sure about that?
And I have to be strong. I have to do this. It's freaking hard. It's terrifying. The unknown, everything that I have to do, all the I's I have to dot, all the T's I have to cross just to get to my destination. And I mean that like physically, but also figuratively, metaphorically, whatever it may be. It's just there's so much. And
what? What was she talking about? I mean, I get the physical, like the weight loss. Emotionally, metaphorically, there's just so much. What are you talking about? It's philosophy, Lynn.
I don't know. I just feel really freaking lost right now. And I need a shoulder. I need a shoulder to cry on. But I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody here.
And at this point, wasn't she talking to like Alexis? So like right after this, or maybe even right now during this, she started talking to either Alexis or Erica, or like that sort of stuff started happening like right now, like right after this video.
Kentucky's not for me. It never has been for me. I came here for somebody, stayed here for somebody, and then was stuck here with somebody. All 3 different people. And now I get to be free. And that's wild. That's wild. I don't know, you guys.
Imagine being 30 plus years old, and it's the first time in your life that you've been on your own and you haven't been dependent on somebody. Like, I know there are people out there, especially people that have like disabilities, or people who are, delayed, or people that just generally need more care. There's no problem with that, but somebody like Amberlynn, who treats her significant others like she does, I don't have a lot of grace or sympathy to give.
I'll keep you updated, but that's kind of all I have for now. I'm gonna go cry in a pillow or something.
Same song, different verse. That's just Amberlynn. All the cycles are constantly rolling. You got the diet cycle, you've got the mental health cycle, and you've got the girlfriend cycle. This was just like a year and a half ago. And yet, just a couple days ago, she's doing the exact same video with Emily. So, and you know what? In a year or so, we'll probably be doing this again. So I guess we can look forward to that. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.